All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our smart contracts project. Let's have a look at what we're going to be going over today. Now, today I told you that we're going to be starting a new module, so let's dive right in. The module that we're going to be starting is make a function call to another function. So in this section, we will go over the process of making a function call to another function in Vyper. And this is our smart contract so far. Let's have a look at everything that's here. You can see this is everything we have so far. This is everything. So we're just going to scroll down, do some light reading. So at this point, we have deployed our small contract to the Sepolia test network, and then we sent a transaction with ETH using the fun function of our small contract, like I showed you yesterday. Now we're going to go over the process of making a function call to another function in Vyper. Now, if you want, you can actually make an external function that basically runs the internal function that will check to see how much ETH is worth that was sent to us, and then we can make a function call that will check to see if the ETH sent to us is worth more than $5. And this is how we can do that. So we're going to use this external function here. You can see it's an external. It's going to be a view. And it's going to be a define get ETH to USD rate. We're actually going to return an integer of the self underscore dot get ETH to USD rate. So if you look, these look exactly the same, but they are different. This one has an underscore here, and I can show you why it has an underscore. You can go back up to our contract so far. You can see it has an underscore here. Now this underscore lets us know that this function is internal only. As you can see, the decorated internal, which means it can only be called from inside the contract. It can't be called from outside the contract. That's what underscore at the beginning of the function does for us. So that's why we have that there at that position. Let's go back down. So we can see here, we have the define get ETH to USD rate, which is going to return a call on a self dot underscore get ETH to USD rate, meaning that this external function is going to make a call on this internal function. Now we can actually get an explanation of that if we read the note. You can see the underscore before the function name indicates that the function is internal and should not be called directly from the outside. It is a convention in Vyper to indicate that the function is meant to be called or used internally without the contract or within the contract. Now notice the function name is the same as the one we used before, and now there isn't an underscore before it. This is because we are making a new function that will be called externally, and it will call the internal function that we made before. The internal function is the one that actually does the work, getting the ETH to USD rate, and the external function is a wrapper that calls the internal function. So let's do a quick explanation again. So this function right here is actually going to be used to call this function or this one here, this internal function, and this one is going to do all the work right here. That's going to get the price for us or get the ETH to USD rate. So this one is going to do all the work, but it can't be called from outside. That's why we created the external function to actually call that function, and that's how we're going to do that. This is our external function that calls our internal function. You can see we access it by using the self dot underscore get ETH to USD rate. Now, basically, that's what we have so far. We do have a little bit more light reading to do. We probably can actually finish this reading up now. So this is actually a really helpful trick we can use in Vyper, as it allows us to create a clear separation between internal logic of our contract and the external interface that users will interact with. This can help make our code more organized and easier to read. Now we can deploy our small contract again, and we can call the new external function, get ETH to USD rate function to check. This is supposed to be the ETH to USD rate for a specific amount of ETH sent to the contract. Now this is what our contract should look like so far. So let me show you. If it all comes together, we have our internal function first. This is the one that's going to do all the work or get the ETH to USD rate. As you can see, it's internal, and we have the underscore. And this is the external function that's actually going to call on that internal function. So you see, we left it at the same exact name. The only difference is we put an underscore at the beginning of the internal function to let us know that it is going to be only an internal and it can't be contacted from the outside. And that was basically everything in this module. It was a quick, short module. We're not going to do anything with it. That's basically it. So that was in and out of this module. Make a function call to another function in Vyper. And tomorrow we'll be starting another module. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, it's the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.